Well, John, if you want to know if you've got some big-time talent on the field, all you got to do is look around and look for college coaches, and we've got some here tonight ready to check out this game. I understand there's a coach from Florida State in attendance in this one tonight.
Yeah, Avery Harris is a guy that he's a guy that can go. There's really no weakness to his game. We're going to see him right off the bat here. Number 4, the quarterback. And he's a guy that can beat you, as we said, with his feet. He can beat you with his arm. One of the top quarterbacks in all of Alabama.
And Munford with the football to begin this game. And as the rules state this year, the teams start from the 35-yard line. And Munford with the football to begin this game. There you see number 32 for the Lions on the first carry of the game. That is Carson Smith. He's able to get around the corner for a 5-yard gain for the Lions, making it 2nd down and 5. Once again, 2 12-minute quarters in this one. Then we are scheduled to have a 8-minute junior varsity quarter at the conclusion of the 2 12-minute varsity quarters. 2nd down pass attempt just off the hands of Corey Russell, who John was referring to a moment ago. And John, he is a fantastic-looking specimen. He's about 6'3", 220 pounds, and there you see the pass just a little too hot to handle.
And wait until you see him on defense. He is fun to watch. You know, early in the season, they gave up a lot of points. They had that scoring shootout with Hanley. They had that scoring shootout with Leeds. But by the end of the year, they get down to the playoffs. They were shutting out W.S. Neal in the playoffs. Much improved defense led by Russell.
3rd down play, Avery Harris. Boy, he is very close. Spun his way up near the 1st down marker. They may have to measure. Chet Tucker of Guntersville came up to make the stop. It looks as though it's about a half-yard short of a 1st down.
Just a couple of seasons ago in the 2013 season, back when Guntersville was in 4A, these two teams actually met in the 4A playoffs, and Munford beat Guntersville 26-16 in the 2nd round of the 4A playoffs in 2013.
4th down, Munford will go. Hand off right up the middle. It's a 1st down. The give to Brown. Football came out of there, a scramble for it. If Munford's got it, it should be a 1st down for the Lions, barely.
These are teams that not just Johnny-come-latelys. A lot of tradition at Guntersville, a lot of tradition at Munford. And that will be a turnover. There's going to say the fumble was recovered by Guntersville, so Guntersville will have the football and take it over at the 45-yard line. But you look at the replay here as we take a look at that and the ball coming out. Mickey, Guntersville 11-1 on the field last year, 12-1 officially. They had a forfeit win over Butler, 12-1 the year before that, 10-2 the year before that. And then you look at Munford, 10-4 last year, the state semifinals, 9-4 the year before that in the quarterfinals, 12-2 as you go back to that 2013 season, again in the semifinals, 8-4 before that. So these are experienced, tradition-rich programs at Munford and Guntersville.
And so the Wildcats won't even get their first snap off because we're going to have someone jumping off sides on that Munford defensive line. I believe it was number 58, Brody Bussey.
And even though Guntersville is losing Jordan Bentley, they do have a major returnee, and that's the quarterback, Major Henderson, number 7. Expect big things from him.
Correction, that was Jalen Bust, who was called for the offsides play. And good hustle that time, Pernell Mitchell of Munford chasing down the Guntersville ball carrier, number 8, Archer Charles. A short gain of just about 1.5 yards to just inside the 39, so it'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it 4 for the Guntersville Wildcats. Henderson, give up the middle. It's Archer on the carry again. A nice hole right up the heart of the Munford defense. Stop made by Tariq Johnson, but not before Charles is able to pick up 1st down yardage to the Munford 32.
And there's another flag way back here behind the Guntersville huddle, and they're clapping, so it may be another penalty against the Munford Lions. But that's the guy. If you've been wondering who's going to be the guy tasked with trying to replace the 5A back of the year in Jordan Bentley, that's the guy that we're talking about right there, is going to be number 8, Archer Charles. They expect big things out of him. I don't know that he's a Jordan Bentley, but he's going to give it his best shot, and he will be an outstanding running back for Guntersville in 2015. 16, I should say.
Unsportsmanlike conduct to call against Guntersville and Munford, so offsetting penalties. Not sure what that accomplishes other than a little slap on the wrist, but hey.
I think it gives the officials a chance to stop the play and gather maybe the captains around and kind of wag the finger in the face and say, okay, guys, we're not going to put up with cool it. Next time, it might be on you and cost you 15 yards.
Kind of like to see the intensity early on in a spring game. Both of these teams, again, well-established programs, fiery coaching staffs, and these guys were over there outside the entrance to the stadium before the game, and they were fired up, waiting to get out onto the field. Henderson rolling out. Nice catch made down at the 19-yard line. Ball pops out. Munford's got it. It was caught by Pierre Henderson. I believe he possessed it, or the official may say he stepped out of bounds, and Coach Bill Smith of Munford is arguing his case, but looks as though that will be the call, so Guntersville will maintain possession.
And you see a little bit of the good arm there from the quarterback, Major Henderson. On the run, rolling out here to the left side, and throws a strike. Very accurate pass by Major Henderson.
And there is the step, I believe, and a good call right before the ball came loose. So Guntersville keeps it with a first down at the 16. Wildcats threatening on their first offensive possession. Pass a little too high. C.J. Williamson went up for it, but could not corral it. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And we thought Henderson showed his arm on the last pass play. How about that one, rolling this time to his right side, and an even stronger looking pass, throwing a bullet into the end zone over in that northwest corner of the stadium here. You know, Guntersville, Lance Reese and his team, despite losing Bentley, they had a lot of returnees coming back, a number of starters on both offense and defense, plus he has his entire kicking game back. He's got his kicker and his punter. So they're expecting another quality team up on Lake Guntersville this year.
2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. Read option. Sweeping left is Charles, and he's inside the Munford 5. Gang tackled at about the 3, but a nice looking play. Good execution, good blocking. And Guntersville is going to have it 1st and goal inside the 3.
It's like Guntersville's found something over here on this left side. Excellent blocking. So pretty good size offensive front from Guntersville. Just pushing that Munford defense back on that play.
So 1st and goal for the Wildcats. And a little confusion, and a timeout will be called here by Coach Lance Reese. Wants to get organized before they run the 1st and goal play from the 3. By the way, John got a notification earlier. Want to go and mention this before I forget it. Congratulations to a couple of former Munford players and a former Guntersville player selected to the North-South All-Star football game to be held on July 21st at the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. I know you know these names: Austin Campbell and Austin Stevens from Munford, and Jordan Bentley, the wide receiver from Guntersville.
Yeah, but Bentley, no surprise there. And then Austin Stevens, you know, he was a member of our Pigskin Roundup All-Star team as linebacker this year. And he will go down in state history as one of the all-time leading tacklers in state history. Just a tackling machine last year at Munford. You go watch Munford play last year, and he's sitting there at middle linebacker, and it just seems like tackle after tackle after tackle. He had something like 400-plus career tackles at middle linebacker for the Munford Lions. There was not much deliberation on whether he was going to be on the Pigskin Roundup All-Star team. Sometimes there's some tough decisions. That was not one of them.
Gerhard and I were down at Munford talking to Coach Smith last year, and of all the players he talked about, it was Stevens. You know, that he of all the players he could have talked about, you could tell that what Stevens meant to his program last year. And, you know, he wasn't the biggest player, wasn't the fastest player, but as far as when you measure the heart, Austin Stevens, I think, was second to no one in that category. That play gains about a yard. It'll be 2nd down. By the way, the head coach of that North team, a good friend of ours, will be Frank Tucker from Alexandria. He's in attendance tonight watching both of these teams. Also see Cleveland County head coach Michael Short is here. A lot of area coaches coming out to check out this game.
talked with Coach Short and just briefly spoke with Coach Tucker. I said, Coach Short, you out here watching a little football? And he said, well, we don't play either one of these teams, but just want to come watch some good football.
Second down and goal. Nice stand there by the Lions. Big number 32, Jackson Menifee, taking the handoff, and there you see the initial penetration that time by Jalen Best. He didn't make the tackle, but he did slow up Menifee a bit, and then help arrived in the way of number 17, Garen Thomas. So, all right, John, it was first and goal at the 3. Now it's third and goal at the 2.
And we talked about that Munford defense. Menifee, we normally see at middle linebacker for Guntersville, about a 220, 30-pounder, and they've got him offset from the quarterback in the shotgun. So will they give it to the big bruiser again?
Let's see what they dial up here. Well, they're going to get a little help. Another offsides, and I believe it's the same young man who did it the first time, number 52, Jalen Best, who just made a good play on the previous run by Guntersville. So they'll move it half the distance closer, so it'll be third and goal from the 1.
Of course, you were talking about Coach Tucker. He's going to be in the same region with Guntersville in 5A this year. One of the changes in the reclassification. We'll look at the Guntersville schedule a little bit later on and look at that region.
So third and goal. Here's the give to Menifee. He bulls his way in this time. Would not be denied. Touchdown Guntersville. And the Wildcats strike first in this one.
Big guy, about 225, 30 pounds. And when he gets ahead of steam, it's virtually impossible to stop a back like that as he gets the call on the goal line. And touchdown Guntersville. And so far, if you're a Wildcat fan, you're thinking, hey, man, maybe we can replace this Bentley guy.
Extra point now, attempted by Walls Jocelyn. Out of a hole from Jake Wisner. And the kick is good. So Guntersville takes a lead 7-0. We get another look at the touchdown. Nice trap block there and good blocking at the point of attack. And boy, this big guy, Jackson Menifee, doesn't need much of a head start. 10 plays, 39 yards. 3 minutes and 20 seconds on that Tony Sarah Ford scoring drive for Guntersville.
Munford had something going on that first drive. They were moving the football, and then that fumble, that ended that drive and gave Guntersville good field position, and they cashed it in. So let's see what Munford can do now after the first drive ended in a turnover.
Avery Harris gives it right up the middle to Brown. Big hole, and he gets through it in a hurry. Brown takes it 11 yards across the 45, and that'll quickly move the chains for the Munford Lions. Kidrick Brown on the carry.
Not the biggest guy, 5'9", 155 pounds, a rising junior, but you see the speed. It'd be amazing to see what that guy can do when he gets into the open field.
First and 10. Harris on the keep. Able to turn the corner and turn that play into a nice gain. Boy, Guntersville had 2 or 3 guys out on the perimeter with a chance to make the play. But I tell you, Avery Harris has got some wheels on him. Finally, number 6 for Guntersville, Pierre Henderson, kind of forced him to the boundary.
2 players had shots at him. That's what makes Avery Harris to me a special player. Most quarterbacks go down, if not on the first, certainly the second contact, and he went and picked up 5 or 6 more yards.
Nice play from the backside by Guntersville's Jesse Altman. Big guy, and he came with a purpose on that play as he knocked down Brown behind the line of scrimmage for a 1-yard loss. That's a good-looking player there, John. That guy's got some size on him, too.
This is I've seen Guntersville the last couple of years when they played Etowah, and they're in that same region as well, or the Blue Devils, and this is a bigger, it appears to be, Guntersville team than they've had the last couple of years.
A flag before the play. Avery Harris is looking over to his coach on the sideline, and the official dropped the flag and calls a procedure penalty against Munford. So it's a costly penalty here. It'll back them up 5. So instead of 3rd down and 3, it'll be 3rd and 8.
Talking about Guntersville size, it begins with that nose guard. Look at the size of number 90, Jesse Altman. Mickey, he looks like he may be a 6'3", 6'4", 300-pound plus. That is a college size. That looks like a guy that's on a Division I nose guard. But he jumped off sides that time. We jinxed him.
You jinxed him.
Talked good about him, and he jumped off sides.
Hey, but the play he made a moment ago where he came down the line and made that tackle, he looked like a speedy linebacker filling that hole. So not only is he big, he's got some speed to go with it. And here Munford gets the 5 yards back, so it's back to 3rd and 3.
That is a big guy, by far the biggest guy on the field. He is a monster at nose guard for Guntersville.
Harris up the middle to Brown. Now Brown cuts it out, trying to get around the corner, can't do so. Outstanding play on the corner by Guntersville. I believe that was Major Henderson, I think.
It was. The quarterback with a great open field. Look, textbook, wrapped up with both arms, grabbed the legs, drove through him. Loss of about 2 yards on the play by the quarterback, defensive back, Major Henderson.
So for the second straight possession, Munford going forward on 4th and short. They fumbled last time. Guntersville showing blitz here. Now they back off. Harris changing the play. 4th and 3. Here comes Guntersville. Handoff to Brown up the middle, and he has stood up. It'll all depend on the spot. Where the official is walking, it appears as though they're going to give it to him right at the 44-yard line, but this one's close.
He had to get to the 44, and it looks like they're moving the sticks, and it is going to be a first down. He had to get to the 44, and he went just inside the 44. Mickey, one thing that I will tell you that Munford and Guntersville fans do not have to worry about this year is quarterback. These are two outstanding quarterbacks. They are in great shape there.
Harris to throw on first down. This time he throws a strike to Russell, and Russell good yards after the catch down to the Guntersville 21-yard line. Those two tried to hook up on the last drive and weren't successful, but this time big gainer.
Jacory Russell, 6'3", 230 pounds, and comes out and lines up as a slight wide receiver and goes across the middle. Tells you what kind of athlete he is.
Took about 3 guys to finally get him down.
And what a strike by Avery Harris. Wow.
1st and 10 at the Guntersville 21. Lions threatening now. Handoff right up the middle. A good gain. I believe that was Carson Smith on the carry. It was number 32. And it always amazes me at these spring jamborees. You got these teams, John, with 10 practices all spring.
Blows my mind that they and even the JV players have been pretty sharp to be JV with only 10 practices.
Screen pass and will turn into a Munford touchdown. Tanner Reeves made the catch. He got a good block from his teammate, and then he did the rest on his own. There's the block there by Zay Britt, and then Reeves in for the touchdown.
I have seen enough of the Munford Lions so far. We talked Saturday during the Hanley games. Hanley and Munford in the same region again. And what a game they had last year where Hanley came from behind and broke Munford's heart and won 50-48 in one of the greatest games in the state last year. They may have another game like that.
Harris's pass, I believe, is nope, they're going to rule it incomplete. I thought that Marshall Clark had come down with it, but the official comes in and says no catch, so the 2-point try is no good, so the score remains 7-6 Guntersville.
Good accurate throw right there at the goal line. Would have been a touchdown if he could have caught. His feet were in the end zone, but just couldn't come down. Good coverage by Guntersville. Harris putting it only where his guy could catch it, just couldn't come down with it. You know, Mickey, you've watched many, many years, decades of 4A football, and I don't have to tell you, Munford and Hanley, about as good as you're going to see in 4A football. There are better 4A teams out there this year. And then you throw Leeds, who we saw in here, who has a lot of talent as well. That region is going to be tough, tough, tough once again, just with those three. Not to mention Tallahassee dropping down from 5A, who's been very good the last few years, and Dadeville, who's always very good. That's going to be a really tough region again.
It's going to be big boy football, no doubt about it. Teams that could compete really in just about any level of high school football. Guntersville back with the football. A first down pass complete to C.J. Williamson. And this play is good for 13, maybe 14 yards. It'll be a Guntersville first down out near midfield.
one of the matchups that I thought would have been a great matchup to see last year as we look at the replay. Once again, another great strike from Major Henderson. One of those dream matchups that I would have liked to have seen last year would have been Munford and Alexandria. I think that would have been an entertaining football game.
So the Wildcats, 1st and 10. They scrimmage from their own 49. 3 receivers split to the right. Henderson will keep it himself and picks up 8, maybe 9 yards, tackled by the shoestrings by Munford's Jimbo Stone, 5'11", 200-pound rising senior. But now you see that zone read. It's just seems like everyone runs now. It's so hard to defend. You've got the running back going wide, plus you've got those wide receivers split over there. So both of these teams, again, we've mentioned it several times, very well coached. Throw a lot of different things at you. And both offenses really clicking in this game. 2nd down and 2. Here's the give to Charles, and he is swarmed under behind the line of scrimmage. Big number 82 for Munford. Dylan Campbell, 6'2", 225-pounder. Corralled him back at the 45 for a loss of 2.
One of the things that we have seen today, especially here at the Gridiron Challenge, has been quality quarterbacks. The Evans kid from Central Coosa, Ben Ivy from Spring Garden, now Major Henderson of Guntersville, and of course Avery Harris from Munford. You just can't overstate the importance. I think that's why we're seeing such efficient offenses. When you got an experienced quarterback like those 4 teams have had coming back, it makes all the difference.
It really does. That position has always been important, and even more so these days. Receiver behind the defender, and it's a touchdown. Number 6, Pierre Henderson, was running free, and Major Henderson throws a major strike here, John, as we get another look at it.
Rolling off to his left, squaring his shoulders up, and then throwing as beautiful as a deep pass as you're going to see anybody throw at any level, right on the money to a wide open Henderson. Major Henderson to Pierre Henderson. And that was an impressive throw, to say the least, by Major Henderson. Tell you what, 5A football, they're probably scaring Frank Tucker to death down there. Major Henderson is what he's going to have to face this fall in region play.
And another extra point successful by Walls Jocelyn. And here we see it again, Henderson rolling out. Christian Owsley was the defender who was beaten on the play, and it was just a perfect throw and catch. There you see the Tony Sarah Ford scoring drive. 6 plays covering 65 yards, less than 2 minutes off the clock. And Guntersville is 2 for 2, John. 2 touchdowns on their 2 possessions. And they lead Munford now 14-6 in the late goings of this first quarter.
I think we've got a Guntersville schedule and a Munford schedule, and we'll look at that Guntersville schedule in just a moment. We mentioned of local interest to fans around here. You know, Guntersville is going to be in a region now with Alexandria. As a matter of fact, Alexandria will be making a lot of trips to Marshall County this year. And later on in the game here, we'll be looking at schedules for both teams, and you'll see that reflected when you look at the region that Alexandria will be in with Guntersville.
Avery Harris connects with Marshall Clark. And Clark give him about 12 yards out to the 47-yard line.
There's the schedule. They open up kind of a traditional opener with 4A power Aniana, then Boaz. The Etowah game has been the region title game the last couple of years. It's been a 1-point game, missed conversions by Etowah. Then you got Scottsboro. That'll be a great game. Douglas Crossland. There's a big game to circle. October 14th, Guntersville coming to Death Valley to take on Alexandria.
And Munford with the screen pass on 1st down. Nice gain inside Guntersville territory. On the receiving end of that pass, number 32, Jeremiah Best.
I'll tell you, Mickey, in that region, Etowah is going to be loaded again. Alexandria, with their 2 good running backs, and Jamal Tucker and Keenan Woodruff coming back. And then you've got Scottsboro with Patrick Nix as head coach and his son Bo Nix at quarterback. And then this Guntersville team, that's 4 really good football teams in that region.
2nd and 4. Harris with time, going to take a shot down the field, and it's incomplete. There was some contact between Henderson and the intended receiver. The Munford fans calling for a flag. The official even, I think, thought about it, but I guess ruled it incidental contact, and you'll see it right there. Intended receiver was number 19, Zay Britt.
And we mentioned the arm of Major Henderson. What about the arm that time by Avery Harris of Munford? Showing off his arm.
Henderson appeared to lose his footing, turning around looking for the ball, and I believe that's why the official decided to let that one go. 3rd down and 3. Harris zips it over the middle, incomplete, and almost picked off by Christian Hampton. It was intended for to Corey Russell, so Harris has thrown at Russell 3 times and he's caught 1. And here, let's see, well, it hit his hand. So as they say, John, when the ball hits your hands, it's considered a catchable football. So it'll be 4th down and 3, and Munford John has gone for it all 3 times in this situation from this exact same spot on the field.
And why not spring game with the weapons that they have? They're going to come back in with 4 wides and go for it on 4th and about 3.
Harris drops back. He's got some pressure, sets up the middle screen, and it is executed perfectly. 1st down Lions, number 19, Zay Britt from his slot position coming over the middle. Harris was feeling some heat from the big guy, Jesse Altman. They let him go, and it worked perfectly.
Munford caught Guntersville in the perfect defense, not for Guntersville, but for what Munford wanted to do, setting up that middle screen. And it worked, as you said, Mickey, to perfection. So here come the Munford Lions roaring again.
Munford 2 for 3 now on 4th down conversions. And Harris, boy, this is where a true dual threat can hurt you. Harris was feeling the pressure, took off running, picks up close to 10 yards, and there you may hear the fan reaction over a block that you may see here.
Watch Tanner Reeves right there, right behind the red. Oh, that was a pancake block by Tanner Reeves, knocking the Guntersville defender all the way to his feet. And you're right, that rightfully so draw a lot of oohs and ahs. We'll see another view of it right here. Wow.
2nd down and 2. Harris pumps, goes deep once again. Receiver is open, and the catch is made at the 6-yard line. Number 19, that's Zay Britt, his 2nd catch of the night. Did a good job of adjusting and kind of looking back over his right shoulder. Look at the adjustment he has to make there and catch it, and keep his feet in bounds.
And look at that pump fake. Beautiful. Froze the defender just for that 1 or 2 seconds you needed to get his receiver open. Just a beautiful throw again by Avery Harris.
1st and goal now. Give up the middle. Nowhere to roam for Jeremiah Best. And he is popped by Jesse Altman. And I tell you, we are already seeing this number 90 is going to be a player to watch next year. And we've got a timeout on the field with 31 seconds left in the quarter. So Munford will talk things over on a 2nd down and 6.
You know, in the region that Guntersville's in, this may be the year of the quarterback. We know what Major Henderson can do. And then we look at the Munford schedule. We'll see a traditional opener now. That is a counter game on August 19th with Central of Clay County. Then you've got Dadeville, awesome team, great program. That's always a tough game. Then you got a game at Tallahassee moving down from 5A, and they've been a 5A power the last several years. There's the Alabama-Auburn rivalry of East Alabama-Lincoln, and that will be at Lincoln this year over at Keith Howard Memorial Stadium. There's October 7th, big game at Hanley. Leeds, that's become a huge rival for Munford. That game this year will be down at Munford. And then you throw in a team that's always pretty good in Class 3A play and 3A, 4A play over the last few years, the Cordova Blue Devils in non-region play coming in. There are not a lot of gimmies on that schedule. That is as tough a 4A schedule as anybody will have. And, you know, we're talking about that region that Guntersville is in there with Alexandria. Now, you got quarterback at Etowah who's already – Dalton Hyatt's already committed to Arkansas as well in that region.
2nd down and goal. Harris, slant pattern, and off the hands of the intended receiver, Tanner Reeves. Pass a little behind him. He had to slow his route, but still, this is one Reeves knows that he should have caught.
Yeah, the defender fell down, and all he could do was really just grab at the legs. That was pretty much a touchdown. Good throw again by Avery Harris. I don't think Harris has had every pass has been right on the money.
I'm catchable, no doubt about it. So 3rd and goal. Harris back to the air again, going toward the corner of the end zone. Just led his receiver a little bit too far. He was looking for Britt again. So it'll be 4th and goal. Munford has gone for it every time on 4th down so far.
And this is where, as a defensive coordinator, you have nightmares in a 4th down and goal situation at the 6, because Munford's playbook pretty much is totally open, and you've got a quarterback back there that he can throw a strike into the end zone, he can throw the fade, he can make every throw, and yeah, he can pull it down and run it too.
Look how wide the Munford lineman splits are. They set up that middle screen again. Britt's got it, but he runs into a wall of white jerseys at the 5-yard line, and so the Guntersville defense, they've been here on this drive, but they do not break, and they hold Munford with 11 seconds left in the first quarter, which is essentially the first half of this varsity matchup.
Excellent defense. Guntersville a little bit out of position. The last time they ran that middle screen, this time they had all the guys there, and one of the big guys that was making that happen for Guntersville is the big guy in there once again, number 90, and that was Altman, kind of holding his ground there, didn't move, and kind of forced the ball back to the inside where his teammates were, and good defense by Guntersville.
So Guntersville will take over at their 5, and I expect just a kneel down play here to run out the clock here in this first quarter.
I see Gerhard Mathangani's got about 4 bags of our core sports touchdown T-shirts with the Munford cheerleaders, about to throw those out in a few moments. I think the cheerleaders get as excited as the fans in the stands. We go, you want to throw out some T-shirts and be on TV? And we always get a great reaction from those ladies.
Substitution penalty against Guntersville. They were trying to run a player off the field. So that'll back them up half the distance to just inside the 3-yard line. Henderson getting his instructions from the sideline. Just a quick knee here. And that's the play call. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter, first half, if you will. And Guntersville with a 14-6 lead over the Munford Lions, and very, very good football game so far. Coming up, we have another 12-minute varsity quarter between these two squads, and then we'll have an 8-minute junior varsity quarter to put a wrap on things this evening. So timeout on the field. We'll step aside for a break as well and come back. Well, before we go to break, let's go ahead and go down to Gerhard.
All right, here, guys, is the touchdown T-shirts presented by our friends over at Core Sports. The Munford cheerleaders here in attendance. So the Lady Lions, I'll have you all throw out those touchdown T-shirts to the Munford faithful here at JSU Stadium. Go ahead.
Again, all games today will be streamed live online at www..
Touchdown T-shirts right on time, right here for the Munford Lions. And these Munford Lions, guys, they have seen these T-shirts go out several years, several times, especially with all the touchdowns they've scored throughout the years, and they are no strangers to the Core Sports touchdown T-shirts. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Gerhard, and thanks to Dr. Jeffrey Lawler and Dr. Clinton Ray for sponsoring our touchdown T-shirts again this season. We'll take a break, come back with the second quarter. Don't go away. Some entertaining football from the Gridiron Challenge at JSU Stadium.
Calhoun County Commission, made up of J.D. Hess, Tim Hodges, Fred Wilson, Don Hudson, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly supports the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
Oxford Secure Storage has now expanded with over 140 units. Oxford Secure Storage now has the largest selection of climate-controlled units in the area. All sizes, both climate and non-climate controlled units, are available with state-of-the-art amenities. All access ways are paved and under 24-hour high-tech surveillance. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will help you through the entire rental process. Come see for yourself the extra measures Oxford Secure Storage takes for your security.
TV24's 2016 Gridiron Challenge is being brought to you by Oxford Secure Storage and Dorsey Supermarket.
And back for the second quarter, Munford and Guntersville here at the Gridiron Challenge. And Guntersville starts with the football to begin the second quarter. A nice game by Case Langley, but is going to be brought back by what appears to be a holding penalty on the edge against the Wildcats.
Pretty penalty-free game here so far, but
Munford saying there's a fumble out of midfield. The Munford coaches are saying they've got the football, and the officials are going to talk about it.
there's the holding call. And they're going to decline that because, Mickey, they did indeed recover a fumble.
Let's see if we've got a shot of it here on the replay. Here's the back, Langley coming right at you. Great shot here. And yeah, that football was knocked loose.
And Munford did recover, had a couple of red jerseys in the area, so.
Marquise Russell knocked it loose, an upcoming ninth grader.
So Munford turned it over on their first possession of the first quarter, and now Guntersville will turn it over on the first possession of quarter number 2.
And Guntersville cashed in on the turnover they got. Let's see if Munford can. First down handoff to Kedrick Brown. Nets about a yard just across the 50-yard line, so it'll be second down and 9. Big possession here in this game. See if the Lions can take advantage of the turnover here to begin the second quarter. Harris under pressure, escapes the big guy, and then runs into number 88, Jacob Stansel. Jesse Altman was the first man there, and Avery Harris somehow got out of his grasp, but then right there was Jacob Stansel to clean up the play.
Altman absolutely destroyed the Munford offensive line that time. He pushed the entire line backwards about 5 yards. Literally by the time that Harris had the football in his hands and started looking, here was big number 90. Looked like he was going to swallow him whole back there. Got away from him, actually, to his credit, but just too many big Guntersville defenders back there. And Altman has been very, very impressive. That's got to be one of the most underrated guys in this state, Mickey.
Yeah, and he looks as though he plays with a really good pad level, has good leverage, doesn't get too high, and those are things that type of technique gets college coaches' attention. Third down and 18 now after the big sack. Harris goes deep, and it's almost intercepted by number 6, Pierre Henderson. The intended receiver for Munford was to Corey Russell.
I've noticed that Munford already has gone to double teaming Altman. That time they pulled both the center and the guard over there to try to knock him out. And he still had a pretty good push.
So Munford cannot take advantage of the turnover, and the main reason why is the nose guard, number 90, Jesse Altman. That second down disruptive play from Altman really was the difference in that possession. So Guntersville gets it back, first and 10 at their own 29 with a 14-6 lead.
One of the few punts we've seen tonight. The first round robin between Central Coosa and Southeastern and Spring Garden, not much punting in that game. And we've had not very many. I think that's the first punt we've had in this game.
Mm-hmm. So Guntersville with a chance to really seize command of the game if they can mount a scoring drive here. Major Henderson in there, quarterback still. Hands it off to Charles, and Charles unable to turn the corner. Good team pursuit by that Munford defense to string that play out for only a yard gain.
Munford, it appears, with maybe some second line players in there. No, Russell is out of the game, normally the starting defensive end.
Second down and 9. Henderson drifts to his right. Pass way behind the intended receiver, Pierre Henderson. Looked as though there's some kind of mix-up there. Henderson had cut his route to the inside, and looked as though Major Henderson was looking for him to kind of cut out to the boundary.
Well, a few times now that Munford's been able to get Guntersville in a 3rd down and long situation. This is 3rd and about 8.5 here. Beautiful night for football. Rarely do we have Monday night football here in East Alabama, but we've got some Monday night football for you on a spring night. Very pleasant weather, shirt sleeve weather out here. Not hot, not cold, and no threat of rain.
Big play for the Munford defense now. 3rd and 9. Henderson flushed out of the pocket. In some trouble, drifts to his left. He's got some room, turns it up, throws it downfield. He's got his receiver at the 50-yard line, making the catch, C.J. Williamson. And the whistle comes in. His forward progress is stopped at the 45. But I tell you, this is all Major Henderson here, John. You can't expect those defensive backs to cover this long. And there you see Williamson break open right there.
The thing that's impressive to me about Major Henderson is, regardless of which side he's rolling, left, right, regardless of what kind of pressure he is stopping and squaring those shoulders, and that's what allows you to make a good, accurate throw. And he does as good of a job as any high school quarterback I've seen in a while of rolling out and setting and squaring those shoulders. It's an awkward, not a natural thing to do. Very well coached to stop and set those shoulders and throw, and he has been on fire tonight here in this Spring Gridiron Challenge.
Huge 3rd and long conversion. Now Henderson keeps it, gets a block, cuts it up, and he'll be tackled at the 36-yard line. Munford's Dylan Campbell was there along with Corey Russell.
Not bad vision either. Running the football, he comes to the outside. He sees that the defenders have got it walled off and there's a hole to the inside. He saw that hole and cut it back up to the inside. Very, very impressed by both of these quarterbacks. Avery Harris from Munford. And I knew Major Henderson had a really nice year for Guntersville last year, but to be quite honest with you, he got overshadowed by Jordan Bentley. But no overshadowing this year. This guy has been phenomenal.
Henderson, 2nd down and short. Pass play is incomplete. Christian Hampton was the intended receiver down around the 25. Let's see where this pass wound up. Looked as though it hit him in the hands. Just a little bit out of the reach of Hampton. But again, that's one of those he's throwing, going to his left, throwing against his body in a sense.
And it's amazing that the accuracy we're seeing from him with only, 9 practices here in the spring?
Throws a good ball, a good tight spiral. And obviously he's got the legs to go with it. Again, 2 good dual threat quarterbacks, as good as any in the state, playing in this game tonight. And nothing doing this time for Charles. He is slung to the turf by Munford's Garen Thomas. Big play there. And so another 3rd down coming up for Guntersville.
Thomas with the great open field tackle, just grabbed him by the waist and held on and threw him down, and 4th down coming.
4th and 1. Munford's gone for it on 4th down 3 times. Guntersville's yet to be in that situation and looks as though they're going to go for it, but we're going to have a timeout first, I believe taken by the Munford Lions. 7:19 left in the varsity portion of this game here at the Gridiron Challenge.
Gerhard throwing out those touchdown T-shirts, and as we mentioned Saturday, it will not be long, folks, until we are in full football mode at TV 24. This is kind of to get us through the summer, but later on in the summer, our Pigskin Roundup magazine, we are working on that even right now. That will be out in August. Absolutely free, full-color magazine with everything you need to know about high school football in East Alabama in that magazine. And then, of course, Friday night, August the 19th, as it has been for the last couple of years, getting started early with now 11 weeks to play 10 games. August 19th, 13th year of the Pigskin Roundup at 10:30 on Friday nights on TV 24.
Look at the big guy coming out on offense, John. Jesse Altman lined up at a tight end in this 4th and short formation.
This is a heavy package because they got the big fullback in there too.
Henderson fakes to Menifee, keeps it, got the 1st down inside the 30. Down the sideline and will be taken out of bounds inside the 5 by Munford's Marquell Russell, a huge play on 4th down. It's 1st and goal, Guntersville.
And I noticed that Henderson gets up and nods at the Munford cheerleaders. and they must have liked it because they were smiling and giggling. Just I don't know how we could be more impressed with 2 quarterbacks than we have been by Avery Harris and Major Henderson. I'm not sure either one of these guys have made a mistake. I mean, you'd have to really pick. Maybe this pass was a little bit long, maybe that pass a little bit short. I mean, but really just phenomenal play by both QBs.
Yes, it is. 1st and goal for Guntersville. Big opportunity for the Wildcats to take control of this one. Flag comes in the end zone. Henderson's going to dive across the goal line, and it's a touchdown pending the penalty.
Where they threw that, it looks like it maybe a hold on Munford. You think maybe
yeah,
in the,
that's what I was
secondary. That's what I was thinking.
Be hard pressed to find a penalty against the offense where they threw the flag, and that is the call, holding against the defense, and it'll be declined. And here's another look at the touchdown.
We're all kind of players in the end zone, and then Henderson just diving in there. If you are a Guntersville fan, you have got to be excited again about the 2016 season up at Chorba Stadium when you got this guy at the controls.
You know, just in this game so far, in every situation he's been in, and this is a good Munford defense, he just seems to have had the answer for everything. Plays with really solid poise. He's got the legs and the arm. He's got it all. And the extra point is no good, so that's the first miss by Jocelyn in the game. Score remains 20-6. So 6:39 left in the varsity portion of the game, and Munford got to get it going in a hurry now, John, offensively.
Yeah, down 20-6, and I think the big thing was that drive that they had going to open the game where they had the fumble. That was the killer, I think.
And this could wind up being the killer drive, as well as Guntersville makes it a 2-score game after marching 71 yards in 10 plays, converting on the 4th down. 3 minutes, 23 seconds of time off the clock. The Tony Sarah Ford scoring drive.
Tell you what, just from a fan standpoint, I'm loving this because now we switch it right back over to Munford, and we're going to get to see Avery Harris now.
Harris, screen pass to Reeves, and Reeves, nice job of yardage after the catch as he carried the defender Miles Williamson upfield for a gain of about 6, maybe 7.
Well, like he was going to be stopped for no gain, and then he just kept the legs moving and wound up getting about 6 or 7 more yards. So a nice 1st down pickup for Munford.
2nd down and 4. Harris rolls out to his right, zips it downfield, and he'd like to have that one back to Corey Russell. Was wide open over on the 48-yard line, and Harris a bit too high on that one.
Even on that play, even though that was a misfire, you can still see the arm strength. You know, the great quarterbacks make it look like they're not even struggling to get it out there. And he just kind of flicked that out there and threw it 20 or 25 yards.
And the problem here, John, is 3rd and 4. If you don't get the 1st down, not only is time winding down, but you got to put your defense back out there again against this red-hot Guntersville offense. Screen pass, and look at Altman. The big guy read it perfectly. He didn't bite on the screen. The lineman let him go. He held back, held his spot, and he makes the play.
I'm not sure in a spring game if Bill Smith is going to call that middle screen again after that lick. It may not be worth taking the chance again in the spring to have one of your receivers take a lick. And this Altman guy is a phenomenal football player for Guntersville.
Munford lining up to go for it on 4th down, and so Guntersville takes a timeout. Each team getting 1 timeout per quarter, so both teams have taken their timeout. And there's a look at him. He has been, I tell you, he's the MVP of this game, no doubt about it. The nose guard, Jesse Altman.
You know, we noticed him early on just from the size. We didn't really know what kind of player he was, but we just kind of noticed the size. Obviously, a guy like that stands out. But hey, look at that. I mean, this is a nose guard blowing up a middle screen. This is a guy that's got some speed and agility as well.
Back in that first quarter when he made that play down the line of scrimmage and tackled the back before he could get outside, that was my first glimpse at who is this number 90, and he has made really the big plays in this game. He's been the difference.
I would imagine that some of the coaches in our area that will have to play against him, like Drew Knowles over at Etowah and Frank Tucker at Alexandria, we look forward to summer. I'm not sure those guys are looking forward to summer knowing that this guy's waiting on them in the fall.
Talk about an anchor in the middle. How about Munford going for it here on 4th and 6 at the 5:29 mark? A must-have here for Munford. Harris zips it over the middle and passes behind the intended receiver, Tanner Reeves. And I tell you, this is not the Avery Harris that we're used to seeing and that we've seen last year and that we're going to see this fall. It looks as though he's just a little off his game tonight, and Major Henderson is on his game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's Munford coach Bill Smith. Of course, at Munford, advanced to the 4A semifinals in his first year in 2015. Former head coach at Shades Valley, did a phenomenal job there. Former head coach up at Crossville in DeKalb County, did a phenomenal job there. 45-34 career record. Only his second year coming up at Munford. Played football at the University of Alabama, a punter, and a high-energy guy. You want to talk about positivity and high energy, Bill Smith is your guy.
New quarterback now for Guntersville, Jake Wisner, number 3. Going to start this drive with an offensive penalty against Guntersville.
And no offense to Wisner, he may be a fine quarterback as well, but I'll guarantee you Munford is glad number 7's over there on the bench.
Yes.
He has been just about perfect tonight. And you can imagine if a quarterback is perfect in a spring game with 9 days of practice, after 7-on-7s and a full fall practice and then get into the season, what kind of year he's going to have.
Give up the middle to Charles, and he is pushed back by a host of Munford defenders led by Dylan Campbell along with Jalen Best, who's had a good game from his defensive tackle position. So 2nd down and 5.
But I think the Munford fans that are tuned in watching tonight here on TV 24 and they made it up here to the game tonight, I think they're going to walk away feeling very good about their team as well. Everything that we thought, Coach Smith was very positive about his team and what kind of year they would have coming up in 2016. And I've seen nothing to persuade me otherwise that Munford is not going to be one of the top 4A teams in the state once again.
Wisner completes his first pass of the night to C.J. Williamson, and he gets pushed back by Dylan Campbell and company. C.J. Williamson's had himself a good night. I think that's his 4th catch of the game, and this a first down inside the 20. He's a good, tall-looking, rangy receiver, John.
They just keep trotting the talent out, both of these teams do. These are very deep squads as well. You see a lot of players. There's a lot of white jerseys on that Guntersville side, a lot of red jerseys over here. We talk about building programs and built programs, and I think there's no question Guntersville and Munford, these are built programs. Just how deep of a playoff run can they make?
1st and 10, Wisner feeling the heat, gets the pass away. Great job completing that pass to Jackson Long because the pressure was coming right up the middle. Best, he takes a shot too and delivers a strike to Jackson Long. So they mark it just inside the 10. It'll be 2nd down and about 4 as we're under 4 minutes to play in the final varsity quarter of the game.
Munford has any hope of winning here on this varsity end of things. They've got to have a stand here. Down by 2 scores, 3.5 to go. They obviously can't give up another one here. Guntersville has their kickers. We'll point this out. They have both kickers returning, and it is a non-rush, non-live kick, but they can attempt a field goal.
Back to the ground game, nothing doing. Number 82, once again, Dylan Campbell is really picking up his play here late in the game. Also, Jimbo Stone in on the stop. Play gains nothing, so it'll be 3rd down.
And it might be a good opportunity. Lance Reese might be thinking, hey, wouldn't be a bad thing if they stopped us here and forced a 4th down. So we maybe could send our kicker out there and put him in a little pressure situation under the lights here in the College Stadium.
So 3rd down and a long 3 for Guntersville. Munford brings the linebackers. Wisner rolls right. Pass toward the end zone is caught for the touchdown. Number 6, Pierre Henderson. And I tell you, Mr. Jake Wisner coming in, doing his Major Henderson impersonation on this drive.
If you're playing Guntersville this year and your plan is to maybe try to knock Henderson out of the game or hope that he tweaks an ankle or something like that so you can get to the backup quarterback, I don't think that's a real good plan either, because Wisner looks pretty doggone impressive too coming off the bench. 2nd
touchdown catch of the game for Pierre Henderson. All smiles on the Guntersville sideline, and understandably so. And there's an extra point attempt by Walls Jocelyn. He hits this one, so he's 3 for 4 in the game. 26-6. 27-6 now. Guntersville extends its lead over the Munford Lions with 2:37 to play. And there's a look at Major Henderson, John, and again a player to watch this fall. And I would imagine that there's some college scouts in attendance tonight. He's caught some attention the way he's played this evening.
He certainly has. This is a guy that's got a little bit that all the great quarterbacks kind of have this a little bit. He's got that little swagger too.
All right, let's go down to the field for a report from Gerhardt.
All right, hey guys, 2 special guests here from the Munford Lions, both seniors, both graduating seniors from the football team, Austin Stevens and Austin Campbell. One quick note from a news perspective, they were just now named to the North-South All-Star team tonight. Those were coming from the AHSAA tonight. I was able to corral them. Both will go on to college ball. We'll talk to them in just a second about that. But first off, talk about the honor about playing for the North-South All-Star team here coming up in the next couple of months over in Montgomery.
I mean, it's just going to be an opportunity to get better. You know, I got a teammate playing in too, I think, Josephus. From Leeds, he's supposed to be playing in too, so I mean, we'll get a chance to go ahead and get started playing together.
Absolutely. Talk about the honor of even playing in the North-South All-Star game.
Well, it just means you're one of the best in the state, you know, at what you do, and so it's just a testament to our hard work over our 4 years playing the game. So, looking forward to it. Play with Austin Stevens, you know, playing together our whole life. It's good to go one more time with her.
Absolutely. Going on into the future, you guys are both playing college football. You're going to Miles. You're going to Huntington. Talk about your college experiences and what you expect here in the next couple of months as you train for the next level.
I mean, I just plan to do a lot of conditioning, you know. I mean, they got some dogs down there. Yeah. And I'm trying to prepare so I can go down there and play some.
What about you, Campbell?
What's the question?
College ball.
Oh, very excited about it, man. That's a blessing. Yeah. You know, I've been working for the past 2 years, you know. So to have a chance to play the next level, I'm very excited and blessed to have the opportunity.
All right, final question for both of you guys. You know a lot of football. You've been been a part of a lot of Munford football. Last year, you guys went to the semifinals of the playoffs. Talk about what you've seen so far out of the teammates that you have.
They're doing okay. I mean that's the thing about the spring though. I mean they got all summer to work on it. I mean that's a good thing though. They're making mistakes. They got all summer to correct them. I mean it's a good thing.
Absolutely. What about you?
Well, I just know that on offense, especially, we're very young, and you know, I know that by the time August comes around, we'll be ready to roll. And so it's good to for all these guys, the younger guys, get the butterflies out, you know, and that way that first game is easier to come by and they can make plays. So that'll be good.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Austin Stevens, Austin Campbell, both guys going to play college football, both huge parts of the Munford program here, and tonight named a part of the North-South All-Star game that's going on down in Montgomery on July 21st. It's a Friday night. Also a point of interest here, some other local players that will play in that game. Dylan Wiggins, an athlete out of Ranburne. Hunter Armstrong, a Pigskin Roundup All-Star out of Southside. Dakota Sams out of Alexandria. Gadsden City's Denzel Mooney, and the head coach for the North team, Frank Tucker, out of Alexandria. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Gerhardt. Some great information there. And right as Gerhardt started that interview, Munford's fumbled the football, which is why Guntersville has it back, and a 5-yard penalty.
And maybe Gerhardt can catch up with the head coach of that North team, Frank Tucker. He was here earlier. I don't know if he's still here, but
he may have seen enough, John.
I think he might be right down here, I think.
Yes, he is. He's talking with his rival, Michael Short. That's who he's talking to.
Maybe we can maybe Gerhardt can catch up with him as well before the evening is done, and we can congratulate him on being selected as the head coach of the North-South All-Star team.
Boy, just seeing a Heflin and Alexandria head coach talking just starts bringing back all kind of flood of memories, you know.
There have been some great games between those two schools, tradition rich.
So 3rd down and very long for Guntersville. They go to the air. Wisner up top, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Pierre Henderson, and defending on the play was number 13, Christian Owsley. So 4th down, and Guntersville will elect to kick. They'll mark the football 35 yards downfield, and Munford will get it back with 1:20. Well, they're running the clock. 1:24 and counting.
How about the arm on Wisner? We saw the strike down there, but then we saw he threw the deep pass, and it was accurate and perfect spiral and tremendous arm. Finally, they stopped the clock there at 1:18.
Coach Smith wondering why the clock was running while the official was marking off the punt yardage.
Coach Smith still on the field. That's what the holdup is. And here comes Munford trying to score again before the end of this game.
Avery Harris couldn't find anybody open, and he runs into big number 90 Jesse Altman, who padded his stats with another tackle there.
They have had no answer for Major Henderson, but they really have had no answer, and I don't blame them. I don't think there's many teams in this state at the high school level that are going to have much of an answer for Jesse Altman.
2nd and 10. Harris completes the pass to Tanner Reeves. Reeves fighting for yardage after the catch, but will be pushed back by Jackson Menifee, and I believe will be, well, they're going to give him a 1st down. So 1st and 10, Munford. Clock stops with 40 seconds to play in the final varsity quarter.
We mentioned that they had been double teaming. Munford had been double teaming Altman. That time they triple teamed him. They had both guards and the center, and he still got through all 3 of those guys.
Tanner Reeves on the catch, but not much running room after the catch. A gain of 2. He steps out of bounds at the 37. Clock continues to run. Munford hustles back up to the line of scrimmage.
I think the good news, if you're a Munford fan, Bill Smith probably telling his team, guys, the good news is we're not going to see number 90 this season.
Harris has his pass intercepted by Menifee. And Menifee returns it to the 22-yard line, and that'll bring us to the end of the 2nd varsity quarter. A fitting ending for Guntersville. It has been Guntersville's night tonight as they win the varsity portion of this game by a final score of 27-6. What a showing here for the Guntersville Wildcats. Well, they put a couple of minutes on the clock, and they'll take a short break and come back with scheduled to have an 8-minute junior varsity quarter. Chase Robinson's going to step inside the booth and take you home with John Holder for the final portion of this game with the junior varsity of Munford and Guntersville. There you see the final score from the varsity game. Guntersville winning it tonight over Munford by a final of 27-6. Live coverage of the Gridiron Challenge will continue in just a moment.
Air conditioning has provided superior year-round comfort for you and your family. And no matter what kind of system you have, now is a great time for a tune-up to make sure it runs smoothly all season long. And if it's time for a new one, we're the Rheem team, offering energy-efficient Rheem heating and cooling systems that will save you money on your energy bills every month. From service calls to a complete replacement, you can count on Mizell Heating and Air Conditioning to do it right. First time, every time.
Your neighborhood Grub Mart is your one-stop shop for everything you need when you're on the go. Grub Mart features the best prices on Coke and Pepsi products and is home to the 99-cent bag of ice every day. And Grub Mart is your exclusive home for the popcorn bucket. Purchase yours for only $5.99, then bring it in for free refills throughout the year. That's right, free popcorn for a full year. Your locally owned and operated Grub Mart, in business for over 74 years.
TV24's 2016 Gridiron Challenge is being brought to you by Oxford Secure Storage and Dorsey Supermarket.
Back here at Jacksonville State University Burgess Snow Field, and it's time for Munford and Guntersville in the junior varsity 8-minute quarter. We will play here. We just saw the varsity play, and now we'll have the junior varsity. With John Holder, I'm Chase Robinson, and we'll be bringing you this final quarter. And John, your thoughts on that varsity 2 quarters we saw?
I think, like everybody else, pretty impressed. As they put 8 minutes on the clock, they'll reset the scoreboard, so this will be all pretty much not necessarily junior high guys, but maybe some second and third team players as we've seen. They'll call it JV, but I'll just tell you, very impressed by Munford, very impressed by Guntersville. I think Guntersville is going to be a load in Class 5A. Folks in our area like Etowah and Alexandria going to have to deal with this Guntersville team, and I think Munford in Class 4A in that region with Hanley, who we saw here Saturday, and Leeds and Dadeville and those folks, they're going to be tough to handle. 2 very good programs, 2 very good teams last year, and I think we're going to see more of that in 2016.
And it'll be Guntersville with the ball first, but there'll be a penalty marker out on the field. Offsides on the defense.
So not 1 second run off the clock in this junior varsity action, and already a penalty. Already a stoppage in play before we even get started.
It'll be Jake Wisner for Guntersville, the quarterback. He'll hand it off to Tyler Robinson. Picks up a couple yards. It'll be 2nd down.
As we saw at the end of that first varsity game, or second quarter of that varsity game, this is a not your typical second-team quarterback. Wisner is for Guntersville. Very strong arm, very accurate. Seems to be in control of the offense as well. I mean, this is a not your typical JV or second-team quarterback. He's shown us some stuff here in the second quarter.
Another flag thrown out on the field.
So another penalty. 3 plays, 2 penalties. Offside this time on Munford. I should say Guntersville. Chase, you've been down the sideline. What's the reaction down there? We've been talking a lot about big number 90 of Guntersville, Jesse Altman. What's the reaction, the chatter been to that guy down the sidelines?
This Munford team, we knew they were going to be impressive. We've talked about that. But, you can't take nothing away from them. One thing I like is Guntersville there, number 43, Tyler Robinson with a run there. One thing we've been talking about down on the sideline is Coach Smith. We're big Coach Smith fans. The energy he brings to the sideline, the intensity he brings to this football team, it's incredible, and that's what Munford's been wanting, and that's what's good for them right now.
Positivity from Bill Smith of the Munford Lions. So clock ticking here, 8 minutes in this JV quarter, and then we will be done with the Spring Gridiron Challenge for 2016.
Robinson takes the handoff again, gets down to the 50-yard line, picks up the 1st down. Take a look at the replay again.
Robinson a load. We've seen Menifee on the varsity end, a big guy that they bring in, a big bruising fullback, and now Robinson comes in and he's a load as well. This is the thing that we've been talking about, Chase, has been it appears to be not only a very good quality Guntersville team, but a very deep team as well.
And let's go down onto the field. Gerhard Mathingani standing by with a special guest.
Hey, guys. John talked about it earlier, how head coach Frank Tucker was here, and he's obviously taking a look at both of these clubs. And we'll be taking a look at a lot of that coming up in the about August, September, October by the time you guys get ready to start game planning for these guys. But before that, in July, you have another game to coach. Congratulations, you're the head coach for the North-South All-Star game as announced earlier tonight. First off, just talk about that honor.
It is an honor, but it's one of those situations where if you got good players, you get a lot more coaching awards. So I give credit to the players we've had the last few years because when they do good, coach gets a lot more credit than he deserves. So it is an honor, and I'm glad to be able to do it.
There's two guys right here on this sideline with Austin Stevens and Austin Campbell that'll be a part of that football team. There's lots of great talent here in North Alabama. You've been a surveyor of the talent here in this area for a long time. Just talk about some of the things that you expect to see out of the guys come July.
Well, it's kind of, I imagine, to be pretty fun coaching such great players, and the two boys from Munford, I've just heard so much good things about. The linebacker especially, people told me they couldn't block him all year long, and I've heard great things about the receivers. So it'll be fun to see some other players and see some players from South Alabama, and just, seeing such great players on one field ought to be an enjoyable time.
Talk about some of your observations here today. Obviously, you're looking at this one with a coaching perspective and probably a football fan's perspective as well.
Yes, watching Guntersville, they'll be in our region. They look tough. I wish I hadn't come because I was hoping to walk away thinking they weren't. They lost a lot of folks, but don't look like they've missed a beat from last year. They had that great running back who's also going to be on the North team, but don't look like they've missed a beat. They look polished and look like a very good team.
Absolutely, and talk about your guys as you develop into the spring and going into the summer with summer workouts, passing camps, and then as you look forward to fall camp.
Well, we got in our 8th day today. It's always a learning experience in the spring. You get a little aggravated, but that's the way it is everywhere and every year. But you got to go through those times to learn, to try to get better. But I've been real pleased, had a great attitude, had great winter workouts, and hopefully we can have another good year.
Coach Tucker, I appreciate your time, and congratulations once again being named the head coach for the North-South team. Guys, got a busy, very, very busy coming up off season right here scouting tonight's game. John, Chase, back to you.
Thanks, Gerhard, and Coach Tucker, very deserving of that honor, John.
Very deserving. A great season last year, one of the best seasons in Alexandria history, and that's a long, rich history. Best season they've had in about 9 years, record-wise, and getting ready now for a new region, basically a totally new region. Not one team that was in their region last year will be in their new region, so their schedule pretty much totally changing.
Weisner hands off to Case Langley. Gets back to the line of scrimmage there. 4:40 remaining in this JV quarter of Munford and Guntersville. Guntersville driving down the field right now.
While we were talking with Coach Tucker there, you probably saw Langley and Robinson kind of having their way. Some really tough runs for the Guntersville Wildcats. So they're now driving once again. Varsity winning handily thanks to a couple of turnovers by Munford, and now pretty impressive drive here by the Guntersville JV team.
Handoff this time to Kai Kapalupia.
Some games I'm really looking forward to just from a fan standpoint. I'd love to see Guntersville and Alexandria. They're going to play out at Death Valley at Alexandria, so this team will be coming right back down here in October to play. That'll have a major bearing on the region title game. And then, of course, Guntersville and Etowah. The last couple of years that game has been decided. It was 7-6 2 years ago, 21-20 last year. Both missed conversions by Etowah. Their kicker was out with injuries and sickness both years during that week, or it might have gone a different way. So we would expect that Etowah and Guntersville would have some another great game if history is any indication. So those are two games I want to see. And then on the Munford side of things, they go down to right field in Roanoke late in the season to take on that Hanley team that we saw here Saturday. And, of course, anytime Munford and Leeds play, they're in the same region once again. That's going to be a great game. And then middle of the season, you got that little game there between Munford and Lincoln, which is always, as we said, it's the Iron Bowl of East Alabama, so to speak. So, and Central Clay County and Munford, kind of a traditional opening game now over the last several years. So there's a lot of great games I'd like to see, and those are just a handful of those involving these two teams.
Handoff there goes to Tyler Robinson. He'll pick up the first down for the Guntersville Wildcats.
Robinson is a tough runner. He puts his head down. He's limping a little bit now. We're seeing him asking for maybe it's a shoe problem. He's trying to get off over there to the sideline, tapping his leg as we see that, getting somebody in, and now he's going to limp off over to the sidelines. But especially on this drive, he has been double tough, getting some tough yardage right up the middle for Guntersville as he goes over to the Guntersville bench and will take a seat over there.
2:25 left in the Gridiron Challenge for 2016. Handoff goes to number 10, Capalupia. Gets down to the 8-yard line.
Cal Capalupia, we've seen a couple of big runs from him. There's another one right there, turns the corner, shows some speed and some size. Guntersville has turned out some big running backs. Going back to that first half in varsity action, where we had Menifee. We have seen them throw 3 running backs out here that are great size, and none of those 3s are the starters, because we expect the Archer Charles to be actually the starter for Guntersville. So we've seen 4 really quality running backs, and 3 of those are the big bruising type for the Wildcats.
Wisner hands off this time to Harris. He dropped the ball.
Munford recovers.
Munford will take over.
Jackson Dunaway. Speaking of big guys, 6'2", 255, and Chase, he's right now in the 8th grade.
Wow.
Going to the 9th grade next year, recovering that fumble for the Munford Lions. I don't think it is I don't think we're just imagining. Young men now are bigger and stronger than they used to be. It's amazing. You just a 6'2", 255 guy used to be unheard of, and especially the guy who was in the 8th grade, he would be a phenomenon. And now that's kind of just not out of the ordinary at all to see.
Munford will take over. Peyton Jackson in at quarterback for the Lions. Handoff there to Elliott Carruthers.
Guntersville playing ball control for the most part. They have controlled most of this quarter. They had the football, didn't get any points out of it, but they ate up a lot of clock here in this JV 8-minute quarter.
Jackson takes a snap. He'll go to the air this time. In and out of the hands of Guntersville, Blaine Logan.
Logan was playing center field in perfect position to make that interception, and he had some green turf in front of him to maybe make a pick 6 out of that, but you have to catch the ball first, and young man dropped the ball, but he was in good position, good defense.
Minute remaining here. Pass out to Carruthers. He'll take across the 20. He brought down around the 26-yard line, and they'll pick up a first down for Munford.
Good catch by Carruthers, and then he did a good job of coming back into the inside, kind of weaving his way through traffic there, and winds up picking up a first down for the Munford Lions.
Jackson looks to go to the air this time. Intercepted by Guntersville, Terrell Harris. He'll take it down to the 20. Still going to about the 11-yard line.
And again, playing center field, deep throw thrown up for grabs. 3 white jerseys in the area. An outstanding interception by Harris as he'll snag that ball, just like we said, playing center field, and then a very nice return all the way back just outside the 10-yard line with 31 seconds to go.
Tied 0-0 here in this JV portion. of the Munford-Guntersville game.
And a part of that run back is going to be taken off because we're going to have an unsportsmanlike penalty after the play whistled against Guntersville. So the ball was going to be chased at the 11-yard line, and now a 15-yard penalty. And it looks like that ball will be back outside the 25 at the 26. Official still trying to sort things out. And now here comes the mark off of 15 yards all the way back outside the 26. So that'll be a good teaching opportunity for Coach Lance Reese with one of his young guys saying, okay, made a great play, but you cost us 15 yards. We would have been in position to be inside the red zone, just outside the 10, and now we're back outside the red zone at the 26 because of some unsportsmanlike conduct. So it's a good teaching opportunity for Coach Reese and his staff.
Guntersville takes over. 26-yard line. There's Weisner back to quarterback. Weisner scrambles, goes to the air, and throws it out of bounds. Looked a little chaotic down there for the Guntersville team.
Well, the Guntersville guys stopped. The Munford guys stopped. They kind of looked at the official, and now we are going to see a flag come in right about the 35-yard line, a late flag thrown. Gerhard Mathangani will be standing by. We hope after the game that he'll be able to speak with Munford head coach Bill Smith and possibly also maybe Lance Reese of Guntersville.
Ball will be moved back to about the 40-yard line. 26 seconds remaining. Weisner takes a snap, handoff. Brought down about the 36-yard line.
And that should be the last play of the game. You see the clock there ticking down, under 10 seconds. And that will do it for the Spring Gridiron Challenge 2016. Chase, we have had 3 wonderful days and evenings of football here in East Alabama as the clock goes to 0, and it has been we've seen small schools, we've seen big schools, we've seen guys that are going to be playing on Saturdays, we've seen great coaching, and it's been a really good 3-day event.
Good taste of what's to come in a few months starting in August. And that'll do it for the JV portion of the game, and like we mentioned, Gerhard will be talking to a coach here in just a few minutes after they shake hands. But like John mentioned, 3 great days of high school football here at the 2016 Gridiron Challenge.
Saw a lot of teams, I think, that once we get to November and we get into playoff time, that will be making a lot of noise. 2 of these right here amongst those in Munford and also in Guntersville. And then we think about seeing teams like James Clemens, very impressive, Benjamin Russell.
And let's go down on to the field. Gerhard Mathangani standing by with Munford head coach Bill Smith.
Guys, thank you very much. First off, Coach Smith, we had a chat just a moment ago about the team. Just talk about just the assessment of what you saw throughout spring practice and then today's game.
We had a really good spring practice, but we did not play well tonight. We didn't play like we wanted to be here. We didn't play hard. We didn't play fast. We didn't have ball control. We didn't make good decisions. But that gives us a ton of stuff that we can work on and get better. So we'll use this as a teaching moment. And it's on me. I didn't get our kids ready to play. We are in many ways more athletic than we were last year, but we lost leadership. And so that's what we're missing tonight was leadership.
Talk about what lays ahead for the next few months as you start to build that leadership, start to build that team chemistry, and then everything that goes into the work before you strap the pads on for fall camp.
I love summers. I love summers. For people who don't know, teaching is not an easy profession, and we work long, hard hours, and then you throw into that a track coach and a head football coach, athletic director. I love summers. I get to work 30 or 40 hours in the summers, instead of 60 to 80 hours in the summers. But we focus on speed development. We focus on strength training. We do some team building stuff, and we give our kids a little bit of chance to be a kid. And that's something that in our day and age of specialization, and I don't know if our kids are able to be high school students anymore and get to hang out with their friends and stuff. So we're going to work hard 3 days a week, but we're going to give them time, give my coaches time to spend time with their families. So we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Final question. This team went to the semifinals last year, and obviously now they're at a position where they know what to expect out of you and they know what to expect out of themselves. I just talk about just everything that from an intangible perspective comes with building off the success you had last year.
Well, last year we surprised a lot of folks, including a lot of folks in Munford, because it was supposed to be a rebuilding year. And then we had the emergence of a couple of players unexpectedly at different positions with Avery Harris and Austin Campbell. And so, but now we've got extremely high expectations, and but we got good kids. I got awesome kids. We'll use this as a learning moment, and we'll get a lot better from it. And we have extremely high expectations for this year.
Absolutely. Continue. All right. We'll catch up with you in the offseason.
Thank you very much.
Coach Bill Smith going back with his team after a pretty nice showing today here in our final game of the Regional Gridiron Challenge. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Gerhard. And John, I know we got to see Guntersville and Munford here. What are your thoughts here on this game?
Well, I think Coach Smith, you can't deny that the talent's there, and I think Gerhard's going to try to go over after the team prayer here and his team talking with Lance Reese from Guntersville, and we'll catch up with the Wildcat perspective. But I think he hit the nail on the head. They didn't play very well tonight. You expect that in a spring game, and you don't really know until you show up. But they had some mistakes. They had a couple of 2 or 3 untimely turnovers, a couple of penalties there. And but listen, the talent's there. I think if you're a Munford fan, you have to be really excited about the kind of season that is in store for Munford. Again, I think this is one of the top teams in 4A football. Certainly, I think Guntersville, one of the top teams in 5A football as well. I think both teams came away very pleased with a lot to take away positive for the summer, and a lot of things to maybe work on as we go to the summer as well. Gerhard's standing by in just a couple of moments. He's going to have the head coach of the Guntersville Wildcats. We'll get the Wildcat perspective. I know, Chase, he's got to be really happy.
That's right. Let's send it down to Gerhard right now.
Regional Gridiron Challenge. And first off, Coach, just talk about the overall dynamics of your team in the spring and then going now into this game.
Sure, we felt like we had a good spring, but you never know. We lost a lot of good seniors. We're pleased with the work ethic, but never really know how that's going to fit together. We lost a really good running back this year. We've been primarily a running team in the past. Very excited about our senior quarterback, Major Henderson, did a good job. Still got to work with the offensive line. Receivers made some good plays. Overall, I felt like we defended well because Munford's got great athletes. That quarterback's really special. They had some good offensive linemen as well. So we'll watch this film, review, and just try to get better. Excited about the season.
Lay ahead what just comes up for your team when you go to spring training, and then from there to summer workouts, from there to the fall, and then all that lays out for your guys, and then as you get ready towards the season, just from a body perspective, a training perspective, and conditioning.
Sure. You know, we've been successful in the past, and we're going to try to keep doing that. Coaching doesn't make you successful. It's hard work in the off season, doing things when everybody's not looking. So we're going to keep doing what we've been doing, continue to work hard, not try to win with schemes, but win with football players making plays and working hard. That's what we're going to keep trying to do.
Absolutely. And then final question, talk about being able to come here to this venue at Jacksonville State and play under these conditions with a quality team like Munford.
Sure. You know, high school football is about the players. They were excited to get to come here, play Munford, who we normally don't play in this great facility like Jacksonville State. So something these guys will always remember, and just glad they had the opportunity.
You guys put on a great show. Continued success down the road, Coach, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
I'll let you go back with your team. Coach Lance Reese of the Guntersville Wildcats today with a showing at JSU Stadium. Guys.
Thank you, Gerhard, and I'm like you, John. I'm looking forward to that Alexandria-Guntersville matchup.
Alexandria-Guntersville and Guntersville and Etowah. 2 times we'll see them coming into our viewing area. So a pigskin roundup, I can promise you those 2 games, Etowah-Guntersville and also Alexandria-Guntersville, will be there for those. Those are going to be 2 of the better games of the 2016 season coming up. So I'm excited and pumped already, especially after seeing these teams tonight.
All right, well, they're about to turn the lights off on us, so we will head out of here. Thanks you for joining us on the TV24 Gridiron Challenge. For John Holder, I'm Chase Robinson.